हाय अमित, कैसा है?
Hi, Aspi.
सो हाउ हु इज दैट? हाँ, वंदना मैडम, વેરી ગુડ ઇવનિંગ. કેમ છો મેડમ?
બસ ચાલે છે યાર.
અરે તમારો વિડીયો મૂકો ને, આવું શું કરો છો તમે? સસ્પેન્સમાં બેસો છો.
વિડિયો નથી આવ્યો ને કામ. આઈ ડોન્ટ નો હાઉ ધ ડેમ થિંગ ઇઝ કમિંગ.
નીચેથી આવશે પેલો એ કરો ને, પેલો અનમ્યુટ.
હવે રવિ સ્મિત કરવું પડે. હા હવે આવે ચલ. આપો આપો. ઓકે નાઉ
નહીં આવ્યા.
હવે આવે બરાબર છે.
એકદમ ચમકી રહ્યા છો. કેમ છો મેડમ?
બસ આપે જ તે ચાલે છે.
ઓલ વેલ?
ઓલ વેલ.
અરે વાહ, વન્ડરફુલ વન્ડરફુલ, વેરી નાઇસ. કે તમે દુકાન પર જાઓ છો કે નહીં?
હા કન્સલ્ટિંગ.
હા, નહીં જાઓ?
ટ્વાઇસ અ વીક.
અચ્છા,
પેશન્ટ હોય તો હવે બહુ કંટાળો આવે છે.
શું
આમ
વાત
બી કંટાળો આવે ને આમ બી આવે છે. યુ આર વર્કિંગ ફૂલ ટાઈમ કે?
નહીં, એટલે 50%, 50-60%. હા,
56.
ખાસ કરીને ઓબ્સ્ટેટિક કંઈ બહુ ઇન્ટરેસ્ટ નથી ઓબ્સ્ટેટિકમાં.
Arey, don't say that. Huh? Otherwise, I'll have to shout at you on 11th November.
શું વાત કરો? કારણ કે બધી બહુ બધી મગજમારી, બધા જાત જાતના કે આ કરો ને તે કરો ને, બધી બહુ પંચાયત છે બધી.
I know, I know. At the moment, it's very complicated.
Yeah. And but the things are also not very clear કે શું કરવાનું એમ કરીને
I
નહીં.
know, I know. બાકી શું ખબર બાકી ચાલે છે બધું બરાબર.
હા, so far so good.
Hey, you had one this thing one gas જેવું કંઈક તે મૂકેલું. You know which is
હા હા, પેલો નાનો પોકેટ ગેસ.
what is it?
પેલો નાનો પોકેટ ગેસ જેવું છે તે.
હા પહેલા પર ચા બી થાય.
હા, કાયદેસર થાય. કેમ ચા શું એટલે ખાવાનું બી રંધાય ને?
અચ્છા that is strong enough to hold. It is so small.
હવે ચા એટલે કુકર મુકર નહીં ચડાવવાનો, ચા તો 100% થાય. એટલે તમે પેલો મોટો કુકર ચડાવી દો તો કદાચ ખબર નહીં હવે. એટલે કેમ્પને માટે સારું છે, ફોર કેમ્પિંગ એન્ડ ઓલ યુ નો.
I know.
કે પછી તમારે કન્સલ્ટિંગ રૂમમાં બી ચાલે.
Hello.
પેલા નાના સિલિન્ડર મળે છે કે તે, ધેટ ઇઝ વેરી ઇમ્પોર્ટન્ટ. ગેસનું.
હા that is what I was going to ask you. Where is it available?
એ ખબર નહીં હવે તે મળે છે કે ભાઈ, કાં તો કોઈ ફોરવર્ડ હતો એટલે ઇન્ટરેસ્ટિંગ જરા લાગ્યું એટલે મેં કહ્યું મોકલીએ એમ કરીને.
હા it was interesting.
Yeah.
Have it, you know, if you are traveling or something, to have it. Of course, if it bursts, then you are done. But never mind.
નહીં એટલે કેમ્પિંગ બેમ્પિંગમાં ચાલે કે ચા બા બનાવવાની હોય.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
हाँ. अरे सदेश, तू अंधेरे में क्यों बैठा है?
चालू किया यार.
तेरा लाइट गया है क्या? बिल नहीं भरा है?
बिजली बिल नहीं भरा उसने.
आया आया, चाबी चमका. अरे वाह, क्या बात है. तेरा आवाज नहीं आवतो. अनम्यूट कर सतीश.
अनम्यूट किया ना.
हाँ, अभी आया.
आया ना.
थोड़ा छोटा है, जरा बड़ा कर. बड़ा.
Hello, Aspi.
हाँ सतीश. अरे प्रोफेसर
You can hear me?
Yes, of course. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, Dr. Palip.
Hi, good evening.
Palip sir is come.
Good evening.
Good evening. Adab. Sat Sri Akal.
सत श्री अकाल किसको बोलता है?
सबको
Must be universal, no?
सबको सत श्री अकाल सबको बोलने का.
सबको बोलने का.
हाँ, सत श्री अकाल बोल दिया, आदाब बोल दिया, हेलो बोल दिया.
अरे केम छो नहीं कीधું?
केम छो? नमस्ते बोला ना. नमस्ते.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
कसं काय कोण म्हणणार?
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
Palip sir, very good evening sir.
Good evening, very good evening.
તમે આજે એકદમ ચમકી રહ્યા છો તમે આજે તો.
હા,
એકદમ ક્લીન શેવ છો, ચમકી રહ્યા છો તમે.
સંગીતાને આવવા દે ને.
સંગીતા તો આવી ગયા ને મેડમ? તો મેડમ તો
કોણ છે? સંગીતા ક્યાં છે?
સંગીતા મેડમ ઇઝ ઇન અ ડ્રાઈવર સીટ.
Yeah, I agree.
યસ.
Where is Amit Borse?
એનું કપ જોયો કે નહીં? પેલા પારસીના જેવો મોટો કપ.
You know, Amit is on another webinar with AMWI, which I was there. અને ત્યાંથી અહીંયા આવશે એમ લાગુ.
I'm there.
You already arrived, huh? जल्दी भाग के आया क्या AMWI से?
नहीं दूसरे लैपटॉप पे मैम.
So Dr. Palip is going to talk Back to the Future. Sounds like a movie, yeah?
But reality.
He'll take us on a space journey.
Let's see.
जंगल जर्नी. या संगीता मैडम क्या खा रहे हो? वो जोमेटो वाला देखे गया है?
नहीं.
क्यों?
You know, my mother has come to stay with me.
क्या बात है?
Her cook moves with her.
हाँ.
I am for the first time in 8 months getting ऐसा बैठ के गरम रोटी, गरम चाय.
Wow. चलो, we'll have a party at your place now.
हाँ, तो अभी संगीता के उधर ही रखना मांगता था ये आज का वेबिनार.
हाँ, आज का प्रोग्राम वहीं रखते थे.
मेरे को भी ऐसा 5 बजे देखो किसी ने चाय बना के दिया, ये देखो. और ऐसा
I can't see you only. Where are you? Where are you? You're not visible only.
Oh, Jasmine is here.
संगीता का मग है वो पारसी के साइज का है, एकदम बड़ा मग है चाय का.
संगीता का फोटो नहीं है.
है ना.
मग दिख रहा है.
मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है.
मेरे स्क्रीन पे नहीं है.
वो दूसरा
you're invisible to me.
नहीं दूसरा पैनल में जाओ ना. एक पैनल में 5 ही दिख रहा है ना, तो दूसरे में जाओ. गो टू द नेक्स्ट पैनल. नहीं तो फुल स्क्रीन में जाओ.
I am in full screen but can't see them.
नहीं फुल स्क्रीन એટલે તમે ફુલ સ્ક્રીન માં છો. આખો એના સ્ક્રીન માં જાઓ.
अच्छा.
हाँ, otherwise you shift that arrow which is there on the top. You shift
Yeah.
that arrow.
I shifted and still I can't see. There.
आयो ने. अरे वाह.
आयो.
अरे वाह.
Jasmine has also come.
Jasmine madam is there also.
જાસ્મીન નામ આવે છે પણ ફોટો નથી આવતો.
આવશે.
ધીરે આવશે.
Who's Shravan Desai? I don't know him.
Shravan Desai is a gynecologist.
Now I see Sangeeta. Yes, there you are. And I can see Amit also now. Hi, Amit.
See, you have to be in the gallery view. Okay, it's 5:35. Sir, are you happy to start?
I think so.
You want to wait for a couple of minutes? How many people have joined, Amit?
19.
19. Oh, then we can start.
21.
20. 20 people have joined. 21 now. Should I unmute everybody?
Yeah.
Mute everybody.
You
It is
mute
already
everybody
muted.
now. Yeah. You can mute us all.
I'll mute everybody.
I should be on speaker view or what? Amit?
Not required, ma'am. Not required. Be on gallery.
Okay, see, I think, madam, or you should be in the gallery view when we are all interacting, but otherwise you should be in the speaker view. And anyway, when sir will start his screen share, automatically you will go into speaker view only. When screen sharing starts, you cannot be in any other view. Okay, so I think it is 5:35. Okay, we can start now. So I welcome everybody. Now keep everybody muted, and then Sir, Dr. Palep, you will have to unmute yourself. And so it's a great pleasure to have Dr. Palep speak to us today. For me, he is not only a professor and but he's like a father figure. He is my guide and mentor for the entire nursing home based practice, which I would have not done had it been I did not have his support and his helping hand all the way through. So and he is known across the world for his research that he has done in the subject of Ayurveda and then amalgamated it into the allopathic and gynecological medicine. So there is a lot to hear from him. I won't take too much time and I will hand over to him. And he is going to do it like a talk show where we have none other than our very dear Madam Vandana Valvekar, who is the Karan Johar of the show. So over to you, Madam.
Thank you, Sangeeta, for making me the Karan Johar. Okay. I think all of us know Dr. Palep very well. All of us know his products also. And as Sangeeta said, he is both allopathy as well as Ayurveda graduate, Ayurveda consultant, and also attached to both the hospitals and has his own products. But as far as we are concerned, the Ayurvedic products and its impact is not very clear. People think differently about it and they are not very clear. So I would like to request Dr. Palep, would you clarify the whole thing for us and then make it clear as to how allopathics can use Ayurveda as it is Ayurvedics are using allopathics anyway. So Dr. Palep, over to you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Amit, will you start with the yes, screen share? Thank you. I must first of all thank Amit. He has been very kind to teach us quite a few things about this screen share and things like that this morning. And we are here today. Thank you, Sangeeta. Can I have my first slide, please? First slide, please. Please share the screen. Amit, share the screen. Amit, share the screen.
Amit is gone. I don't know where he is.
He was supposed to share the screen, no?
Yeah.
See, don't worry, he won't be gone. He is very much with us, and
Anyway,
there is always a little delay when you start screen share. He's there. Okay.
Amit, can you share now a screen, please? No, he's disappeared.
उसको नेट का कुछ इशू हो गया होगा. Just give him a chance to come back.
Okay.
In the meanwhile, Dr. Palep, you want to introduce the subject a little bit?
Yeah. See, when Sangeeta told me about this out of the box, I thought, what is that I can speak? Something is that Ayurveda is our past. Does this past has any future? Which came to my mind. And how this whole journey from past to future can take place. So I thought I must take you to a time travel system so that you board my ship, I'll take you on a cruise of time travel. This is how I thought about the subject. And I would like to say that revisiting Ayurveda is something of similar nature. Now you must understand that we have a very great traditions, very great knowledge, which is there, the civilizational knowledge which we possess. And this civilization knowledge, which we cannot afford to lose, it's right there in our roots. And how do we trace our roots? You know, something very interesting I'll tell you. After all, what are we? We are a bundle of information and knowledge programs. And we are transmitted from generation to generation in a form of a chemical memory in our DNA. If you have to simply put it, what we are, what you are and what I am, is simply that. You know, when I recount my daily prayers, I start with Chatusagara Paryantam Go Brahmanebhya Shubham Bhavatu. What am I praying? I'm praying all over the 4 oceans, let the learned and the cows be safe. So everybody in the world will be safe. These 2 people are safe, everybody else will be safe. Then I'm saying, I'm introducing myself. Who am I? I'm saying, Angiras Haritambarish Yamanascha Trayarusheya Pravaranvita Haritas Gotrotmana. When I say that, there were 3 Rishis at the root of my whole lineage. So that whole lineage starts from the 3 Vedic Rishis, where they are Angirasa Haritambarisha Yavana. So this one is the Rishi who invented the fire. Another is a Rishi who is Yavana. He is from Yavana. Normally we think it's a Greek. So that's how our traditions go back thousands and thousands years back. And therefore, what we think is that this past has a great repository of a knowledge. And you know that at one time we had people like Varahamihira, Brahmadatta, Brahmagupta, Charaka, Sushruta. They were great in their own way. And we need to trace back to their roots once again. The time has come. We must claim that our roots. This is how I started to think how we can reclaim our past. Next slide, please. Next slide. Can you change the slides?
No, you are on the Shushu slide.
Yes. So my question was, is the past dead? Now we say past is dead, future is unknown, present is a gift. The linear thought of past, present, future is an Occidental view, not Oriental view. Oriental view is our past will come back again. The time is a Kala Chakra. It's a circle. It is not, it's a wheel. Kala Chakra is a wheel. The one which goes down will come up. That's how it says. And we believe in rebirth. And even Gita says, Jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. It says, the one who is born is bound to die, and one who dies is bound to come back. So this is how we think that Ayurveda right now, maybe at the very low level, will come back, will bounce back. This is what is my strong belief. And let us see how it is going to be. Now in 2005, you have seen traditional Chinese medicine, person got, no, he's gone very far. Go back. Somebody has shifted the, hello. Go, yes, that's it. I'm still on that. Now in 2017, interestingly, the circadian rhythms affect the human physiology, and a period gene alters day and night differently, and therefore our physiological changes change. But next slide, please. Next slide. What is very interesting is Vata, Pitta, Kapha in Ayurveda undergo diurnal and seasonal variations. Now, what are, after all, this Vata, Pitta, Kapha? They are molecular mechanisms. I will come to that little later. But this molecular mechanism change in the morning to evening to afternoon. How this happened was a mystery till the time they were proved today. And they got a Nobel Prize for that. The Ayurveda is full of the concepts, and these concepts can be, made practical. Now, I'll tell you something very interesting. Did anybody know that there is a coupling of 2 things, Prakriti and Purusha, come together? What does this essentially meant? The sentient element of you, the conscious, intelligent, informational systems, coupling with is a type of a software, coupling with the hardware which is a material molecular mechanisms. Today we talk of this. There is a intelligent mechanisms which direct the molecular mechanisms in our body, and this is described in Ayurveda. That's very, very important. So that means Ayurveda has a basis which can be taken forward in the current scientific language. Now, they have described the living systems and mind systems. These are two different things. Very interesting, isn't it? Now, they knew by the definitions what it means: coding of the information, retention of the information, recall of the information, and processing of the information, and finally ending up to judgment and discriminatory judgment. This they have described as Dhi, Dhruti, Smruti, Chintan, Buddhi. Now, what more you can expect? This your ancient science. Oh, he's gone ahead. Come back to one more slide, please. Come back. Ah, yes. So this is very highly intelligent conceptual framework Ayurveda has. Samadosha, Samagnischa, Samadhatu Malakriya, Prasanna Atmendriya Mana, Swastamit Abhidhiyate. What is health? Very interesting definition. You need to have your molecular mechanisms right, your metabolic fire to be right, and your whole bodily physiology operation, including your excretory system, should be perfect. And then, apart from that, prasanna atmendriya mana. Prasanna is in a very happy state of mind, heart, and mind and soul. When they are aligned with your body,
You have
then alone you are healthy. Otherwise, you are not arogya. Arogya is health. So that's how the definition is there. Now they have discriminated between aroga. Aroga means not having a disease, and arogya. So see the difference. They understood these values. They understood the homeostasis between the internal and external environment. Today we are learning epigenomics. Till yesterday we didn't know what epigenetics were. Epigenomics is a completely new subject for us. So therefore, as we go in the newer what we call inventions, you realize that Ayurveda has already described this. Look at the gut microbiome. Gut microbiome is well discussed in Ayurveda so thoroughly that Ayurveda should be accessed for understanding gut microbiome. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Thank you. That's why, no. One slide back. One slide back. Somebody is not doing right. One slide back, please. One side back.
1 minute, sir. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
No. You've gone ahead. You have to go back.
Yes.
Yes. So that's why I want to say there is unrealized potential of Ayurveda. Now you know that your traditional knowledge base appears to me. Oh no.
Sir, give me a minute. There is something wrong with the PPT. You continue. I'll do it in 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes. Yeah.
Because this continuity will break. Because the problem is, see, anyway, what I was trying to say was, we always needed somebody else to say that you are good. Till then, unless we got some endorsement from the West, we never realized our potential. It's equally so of Ayurveda, equally so of yoga. How yoga came back? It is the endorsement from the West that brought yoga back. It is, the story of Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda was noticed only after he was appreciated in the United States, not before that. Similarly, Rabindranath Tagore, he wrote Gitanjali at least 25 years before. So similarly, today Ayurveda has been appreciated by the West, and so many instances. Now, this was a quotation I was giving from somebody from GMO testing, John Fagan. He says that Ayurveda has so many secrets that will be of a great value to you. Can we have the next slide, please?
Just a minute, just a minute, just a minute.
Oh dear. You want to?
एक मिनट
ठीक है.
सर आपके पास स्लाइड्स आपके इसी पीसी पे नहीं है क्या?
मेरे पीसी पे है. If he allows me to share this screen,
Yeah,
I
you
will.
also are host, na? You can
उसके
also.
ऊपर शेयर स्क्रीन करो, देखो वो लेके आओ तुम्हारा.
Sir, next slide.
Now it has come. Now it has come. Yeah, go ahead. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Unrealized potential of
Yeah.
Ayurveda.
Yeah. Unrealized. Your traditional knowledge base appears to be the most valuable resource that India has. If you look at the knowledge contained in Ayurveda and other Vedic traditions, you'll find a whole system that is highly been greatly undervalued at this point of time. And this body of the knowledge, I feel, has a great potential to transform India and the world. See this such a important statement coming from somebody who is a chief scientific officer, IDNA, and for GMO. So very interesting. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, of late, Ayurveda has been appreciated by the government of India, and government of India is trying to promote Ayurveda. And this is the statement of Dr. Harshvardhan, and all of you might have seen in the newspapers. I've just put the clipping of the newspaper, and he says, in-depth study of literature, scientific studies, including in silico studies, experimental studies, clinical studies. Based on this, we are trying to promote Ayurveda. Now, people telling that this Ayurveda is not an experimental science, so that's not true. It's a lot of experiential wisdom that's behind this Ayurveda. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, do you know what is the foundation of modern drugs? Morphine from opium poppy, quinine from cinchona tree, cocaine from coca tree, tubocoranin from woody vine, pilocarpine from jaborandi trees, bromelain from pineapple, digoxin, hyoscine, colchicine. Now, think of any of the most important drugs in your practice today. All of them are products of the various herbs. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now today, the maximum amount of the treatments which we get to do in cancer patients is from these very herbal drugs. You can see the list of these drugs right from vinblastine, vincristine, paclitaxel, tubocorarin, pilocarpine, scopolamine. So number of them you can see that they are products, they are botanicals. Next slide, please. Next slide. Human condition has been enhanced considerably by those biochemists and pharmacologists who have applied scientific method to prove ancient myths and legends. For example, mystical power of snake root plant of India, either ignored or ridiculed by scientists for decades, were dispelled with the isolation and identification of active alcohol. Now, believe me, all these herbs are, in fact, there are big factories of chemicals. So once you identify a active molecule, isolation of that will will be known how a particular drug acts. Next slide, please. Now, you know this Rauwolfia serpentina, Sarpagandha, of which I have talked earlier, was brought to the light by Gananath Sen in 1931. And this Rustum Jal Vakil has brought into modern world, and that resulted in discovery of adrenergic receptors. Now, today, if we know anything about adrenergic receptors, it is because of this drug. Thank to Ayurveda, this drug has done so much better for modern medicine. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, today, we don't talk in Ayurveda as what we used to talk earlier. Today, we talk here, you can see on the right side of my slide, the Ayurvedic description of the drug, that is, which is daily use spice, turmeric, curcuma langa, and the curcumin. Now today we talk of molecular targets like P40, 450 enzymes, glutathione transferase, kinases, COX, ionase, ionos, and MMP, and so on and so forth. Now you can see that how the things are changing for Ayurveda. Next slide, please. Next slide. Today, the idea of integrative medicine is catching up in a big way all over the world. In the beginning of the 20th century, much of the scientific discovery led to the progress of now dead allopathy. Today, nobody uses the word allopathy anymore. Now that system is dead. What is today we are using is modern medicine, where a lot of scientific discoveries in from different branches, physics, chemistry, biology, and so on, these have been incorporated into the modern medicine, and that's how today's modern medicine works. This idea of integrative medicine was talked about by Lokamanya Balagangadhar Tilak in early 20th century, that there should be inclusion of this scientific knowledge into Ayurveda, make Ayurveda into Ayurvidya. This was an idea of integration, the integration of the sciences, integration of the whole systems. That's what was the idea of integration. Next slide, please. Next slide. USA, Europe are moving towards integrative medicine in a big way because the local traditions are more important and local methods of treatment. Now, in your practice also, you might have seen many patients saying, "Oh, doctor, हा औषध गरम पडतं, हा असं होतो, हा थंड आहे." No, this sort of a local traditional issues which are there, unless you understood what Ayurveda talked of, you will not be able to know this. So therefore, all over the world, such local traditions are incorporated into the current system of medicine, and therefore the integrative medicine is the next way forward for the betterment of the healthcare of the world. Now, during 2007 and 2008, while I was touring USA, in number of the medical colleges, there were integrative departments. I visited John Hopkins, Harvard, in Boston, Washington, number of places, New York, uh, Chicago, number of the medical colleges. I was giving the classes on Ayurveda, a 3-day course of 24 hours, 18 hours course. So this was what I was doing on sponsorship from Ayush and also from API. Now, I have seen this, and China has done a wonderful job of integrating their traditional system into the modern medicine. And today in America, in every medical college, in their department of integrative medicine, you'll find homeopathy, traditional China medicine, yoga of India. These are taught at least in 75 medical schools in USA as a part of integrative medicine system. And a medical student can take any of his choice alternative system for a 12 weeks training course as a part of the curriculum. What is an interesting thing now happening? Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. So during this API Ayush sponsored lectures, I visited number of the places, and this followed my first book of Scientific Foundation of Ayurveda, and my second book is on way, where I have written on integrative human physiology through Ayurveda, Dosha Dhatu Mala Vidya. So this is currently in the print. I expect it to be soon to be released. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now these are some pictures of my classes I've taken during my US stay. Next slide, please. Quickly. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. This is Professor Robert Saper, the head of the department, along with me.
What happened? What happened?
I think Dr. Palib sir's internet has gone down.
Okay. Can you go on to the next slide? The, should I read that? Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
I think.
Hello? Amit?
Yes, ma'am. What to do?
Amit, you
I
call, na?
think,
Dr. Palib.
Amit, okay. Integrative approach, I can read
Amit,
it for him
you
till he
called
comes
Dr.
back.
Yes, ma'am. I'll call.
Yeah, you can read, madam. You can read.
Okay. I think Dr. Palek was talking about an integrative approach which is present in Europe and America. And there is a significant orientation shift in the practice by a physician from diagnosis-based approach to a holistic approach. We are just not treating the symptoms, but also the prevention and healing. Now, healing means recovery, repair, and restore and retain the whole mindset and whole body and soul as far as Ayurveda is concerned, and in community and environment. Ensuring the health and of healthy and the positive health is that arogya and aroga that he talked about. The evidence-based approach in Ayurvedic practice is also very, very important. Ask Dr. Balepan, you can go on to the next slide. Hello, Amit. Amit. And he has been through a lot of variations. He has been through a lot of situations in life. And he says that he has been disgruntled, arrogant, ignorance of basic Hindu philosophies of Sankhya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, and Nyaya. These are the fountainhead of truth and deep wisdom as far as Ayurvedic philosophy is concerned. The poor Sanskrit knowledge of his led to his bias against Ayurveda in those initial period. But after the lapse of 10 years of intermediate science, he took admission in MBBS at the same Grant Medical College, and he completed his MD in OBGYN and became a professor at GMC as well as a head of a unit in St. George's. So now he has two things. He has also been the Ayurvedic graduate as well as a professor at GMC. Can we have next, please? Hello. Hello, Amit.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
then I wanted to ask him, for a person who went through from modern medicine to Ayurveda, and then he got frustrated, he went to modern medicine. I wanted to find out why he went back to Ayurveda, why he went to Ayurveda world, and what did he understand by it? Was it his mission? Okay, you can go ahead, ask Amit. Please ask Dr. Palep if you would like to opine. Yes, he thinks it was indeed a mission. He was one of the very few fortunate trained, which is very true. There are very few trained.
Sir has
both
joined.
in-
Sir has joined.
No, yeah, oh good. Thank you, Dr. Palep. I was doing locum for you. Hello.
Sir, unmute
Amit.
yourself once again.
Yes, I unmuted now. Yes, yes, yes. Hello. Thank you, Vandana, for your question. And I was at a crossroads when I took admission, and I did all that to become a modern medical doctor, so as not to be a second-class doctor in Ayurveda. You see. So now, after becoming a professor at Grand Medical College, I was also appointed as a professor in Ayurvedic College. Now, to teach Ayurveda was so difficult. Now, here came how do I do this job? Because to give simple example, an embryo was union of male gamete with a female gamete in modern medicine. But when it came to Ayurveda, the next problem was there is the introduction of Atma. Only when Atma comes in, the embryo becomes live. Without that, it doesn't happen. So I had to stretch my imagination. Okay, how do I explain this to the students who want to understand the modern idea of the whole thing? Now then came to my idea that centriole of the sperm is the gene organizer. And this alone can be helpful to create genome. And genome is nothing but a knowledge library. And Atma is nothing but the knowledge repository in you. So that's how exactly I could explain the whole concept. And to explain this concept, I needed this modern knowledge. And without this knowledge, I would have been handicapped to teach my Ayurvedic students. So apart from that, our ancient people write in the Veda, every Veda has got a final line. They say, this is what is the crux of the Vedas. What is the crux of the Vedas? Who is the creator of this world? And in relation to that, who am I? So they said, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, the infinite, infallible knowledge itself is the creator. And today, we can only create with knowledge, not without knowledge. The world is a knowledge world, as we understand today. So that's how we today understand the whole modern concepts into Ayurvedic concept and vice versa. That's how it goes on. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, Amit. Next slide.
Takes
Yes,
a couple of seconds.
So more the new science information, more it becomes easy to interpret Ayur Sutras. Now, many times I used to fight with my teachers in Ayurveda. There is a concept in Ayurveda from bone marrow, majja, the Shukra Dhatu is formed. The basis of Shukra Dhatu is from bone marrow. Now, I came upon to read the research by Frisch and Ravel. They started investigating why the hypothalamo-pituitary axis did not function till 12 years or 13 years, and why it started functioning after that. Now they realized what happened in a child, the red marrow in the long bones converted in by adolescence into yellow marrow, and yellow fatty marrow was the source of estradiol, extragonadal, steroidogenesis, the estradiol, and this estradiol caused a positive feedback to the hypothalamo-pituitary axis, and thus the axis started. Now, when I came to know this, understand this, then I said it became very easy for me to understand why Ayurveda said Majja is the basis. Unless Majja completely develops, Shukra Dhatu cannot form. So this is how a modern medicine knowledge, modern scientific knowledge rather, will help you to understand Ayurveda better. Next slide, please. Next slide.
Dr.
Vandana,
Palep,
your take.
Dr. Palep, Ayurveda is believed by most of us to be an empirical science that cannot be quantified or qualified in scientific language, which you have just explained to explain how it can happen. 5 elements which you have described: earth, water, air, fire, and the sky as basis of life, vata, pitta, kapha. Controlling all the bodily mechanisms are abstract concepts and cannot be understood in current scientific language by most of us. So what is the scientific foundation of Ayurveda that you are talking about? Can you explain that to us?
Next slide, please. Yeah. Now, I say Ayurveda is a futuristic science, not by me. Dr. Pranjivan Mehta was the first person who said it's not of an antiquarian interest, but it's a futuristic science. Now, on your question of Panchamahabhut is the basis of life, you say this is not my cup of tea, I don't understand. Now, let's try to understand how does the life originates. Now, we all know that life has originated in the oceans. The first life originated in the oceans. And this origin of the life was because hydrocarbon polymers in the ocean, which is with the tidal waves and sunlight and the air, they created the first life. This is what we understand today in the modern medicine. And this needed only 4 elements: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. For all the organic life, what matters is that, you know, the basic structure of a carbohydrate is CHO. The basic structure of fat is C double bond O. The basic structure of a protein is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen. So therefore, I thought, if I put all these things together, what happens to Panchamahabhut? Now let's try to understand. Now, Ayurveda explains Prithvi element is related to development of quality of aroma, creation of aroma. Now, if you go back to your 12th standard aromatic chemistry, the first lesson you learn is benzene nucleus, 6 carbon atoms making benzene nucleus. So carbon is the basis of life. Without carbon, no life can exist. And activated carbon is basis of the life. This is what we understand in the modern medicine. So to equate Prithvi for carbon is quite reasonable according to me. The next we go to the water. You know the chemistry of water, hydrogen and oxygen. I need not say H2O. And the third we go to Tej. Tej is the energy from the sun in the form of a light and heat. And when we go to Vayu, you know, I used to always wonder. They say closing eyes and opening the eyes. You talk, you do any action, everything is related to Vata. So this was something which we could not understand. Not that anybody understood till we discovered nitric oxide. The basic neurotransmission starts with these gases, nitric oxide, carbon monoxide, number of these gases. So these are the basic neurotransmission starts, and then acetylcholine, other chemotransmitters come into the play. So that's how you understand Vayu, which is basically nitrogen, 80% nitrogen, 20% oxygen. Now we go to Akash. Now they have well-defined Akash. Akash is Shabda Gunam Akasham, sound.
sound as an energy was understood by our ancient people. So that's how the sound, when you put all these things together, this knowledge, and it becomes very easy that we understand the chemistry of Panchamahabhut. Now, in my scientific foundation, the book, I wrote this all details and shown how this chemistry works. Thank you. Next slide, please. Now, A. Oparin, a Russian scientist, demonstrated in 1980. Now, he took a flask of 12 to 14 hydrocarbon polymers, and for C, he took salt water, and for the sunlight, he took ultraviolet rays, and for tidal waves, he used ultrasonic waves. And lo, he got the cell membranes, organic molecule, cell membranes, and all these things in a test tube. Now that's how today we know that it is possible to create all this with the same phenomena, and this is now possible that Panchamahabhut does become a properly explained. Next slide, please. Now, many people wonder what this Vata, Pitta, Kapha are. When you talk of gene regulation, when you talk of cytokine regulation, up regulation, down regulation, and various molecular mechanisms we talk. Similarly, Vata, Pitta, Kapha are basically regulatory. Vata is a regulatory, Pitta is a transcriptional, and the Kapha is a structural molecular mechanisms. Now, these are only three mechanisms in a cell which needs to be understood. So, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, and each of them have been giving a different dimensions in terms of the physical properties and the mental properties. And these properties can be identified in a patient and then infer whether it is Vata, whether it is Pitta, whether it is Kapha. That's how it was in a days when there are no chemical laboratories, and this was the method. It's very interesting. We cannot just say these are all humbug. It is not. Now, when you see a person who talks of Vedic mathematics, who knows what Vedic mathematics, in a matter of seconds, he does a big calculation in a matter of seconds mentally. So this is how the Ayurvedic concepts of working on various signs, various symptoms, various things which you can observe, all observables. And based on the observation, you can come back to a diagnosis, and based on Vata, Pitta, Kapha is not humbug, but this is a method which could be used in a remotest place where none of your scientific equipment is available. Next slide, please. Now, did you ever think that religion, basically our Hindu religion, many things, many of the practices look very obnoxious, abnormal. Now, one of these things I used to observe, women tying a thread, worshipping a banyan tree on a particular day, which is called Vata Savitri. Now, what is the secret of this? Ayurveda says all these barks of 5 Panchavalkal, what we call 5 ficus tree barks, they are very good in treating the female genital tract infections, probably sexually transmitted diseases or any other such things. So this was what was a information. So this served both medicine and ecology. Worshipping a tree, you don't cut a tree. So it served ecology, and it was a hint for a medical man to use this. So this was an idea which I thought I took up, and this study I started with Dr. Ranjan Bhatt from the Institute of Science. She was the head of the department, and that's how we made our first attempt to understand the mechanisms, how these things work, and we showed the antimicrobial activity of these ficus plants against so many of the pathogens in lower genital tract. So that was my first basic study which I started, and I got to do work in number of the departments from Cell Biology Division of BRC, CU Shaw College of Pharmacy, Kundrani College of Pharmacy, Institute of Science, Nirma University of Ahmedabad, Anna University of Chennai, National Center for Cell Sciences in Pune, Hafkin Institute, ICT, number of these institutions I partnered. And believe me, today I have more than a dozen PhDs working on my number of the projects, and we created a lot of knowledge behind these herbs. Thank you. Next slide, please.
Dr. Paleb, let us know a little more about your other clinical research. You talked about this Vata Savitri thing. And how does Sujat and Torchnil come into being? Because those are the products that are being used in this thing. So please tell us this important and incredible story.
Well, they say no, necessity is the mother of invention. Now, how this became possible? One of my students, Dr. Amit Doshi, referred to me a young lady with history of 3 miscarriages with high titers of toxoplasma at a time when we had no treatment for toxoplasma. Now, this lady wanted something to be done for her, and I had no other option than to look for into Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, there is one whole chapter how to prevent the mishap in pregnancy, to prevent the pregnancy loss. So when I saw that, there were about 50 drugs. Out of that, it was not possible to use all those drugs. I said, let me select which are the drugs I can take. So I selected about 18 drugs, and we used to make decoction of these 18 drugs. We have shown the method how to make the decoction. And this lady had successful pregnancy for the first time. And thereafter, she delivered 3 times with me. And that's how was my first successful case with Ayurveda, which we have seen. And thereafter, about 69 patient study we did. And in this study of TORCH patients, we had almost recurrent pregnancy loss, a 95% success rate with this. And I must appreciate Dr. R.D. Lele sanctioned 25 patients, free TORCH test in all of them with recurrent pregnancy loss. Now, I have kept all the records of these cases. And then we said there is something worth in this formulation, and we standardized them into 2 of my products, Capsule Sujat and Torchnil. And we did a big clinical comparative study at St. George's Hospital of 771 patients. And this work received the best paper award from the J.J. Research Society. Next slide, please. Here you can see the study results. You can see almost 50% reduction in preterm deliveries, IUGRs, and even PAIH. In this slide, it is not there. Unfortunately, there was a different slide, but there were too many slides. I did not put that. And what you can see, the birth weight, there was a 300 grams difference between the control, the modern treatment, and add-on Sujat would give almost 300 grams benefit to the patients. Now you can imagine in our country, 300 grams average birth weight improvement with Sujat was something very, very important, very good. Next slide, please. Now I must say that no individual can succeed without cooperation from my own clinic. I take this opportunity to thank all my deans, from Dr. Anjaneyulu, Dr. Dayanand Dongaonkar, Professors Dr. Kalamkar, Bamsi Wadia, Kamal Deshmukh, and Dr. Nandanwar, Dr. Badwar, and my colleagues, Dr. Sadhna Desai, Jasmine Lopez, Dipti Dongaonkar, Dr. Sharad Gupte. These are a few of them and many more who have helped me, who have in one or the other way. And I must thank them at this juncture. And do you know that Dr. Nandanwar conducted a thesis on my Sujat, in KEM hospital for a postgraduate student. So also Sharad Gokte, who conducted in his clinic a trial on Sujat. So they confirmed what I am saying, improvement in the birth weight, better in the fetal outcome, prevention of PIH, etc., etc. So many things. So therefore, I must appreciate the services and the help they have given to me. My students, my registrars, my lecturers, they were all of very great help. And my first patient, after I formulated this and made into capsules this drug, was an anesthetist's wife of Dr. Shravan Desai from Bainder, who was suffering from PIH. And believe me, this patient got such a great relief with this drug. So that's how we just started, and it took me almost 30 years of my work to bring it into some stage. Next slide, please.
Dr. Paleb, you have been in practice for many years, yes? But how did you get into this pharmaceutical thing? Is it because of these drugs, or is it, and how did you get into marketing? This is so unusual for a medical practitioner.
Next slide, please. Next slide, yeah. Now, I was wanting to get a JJ Research Society's grant for my work on pentaphyte. Now, unfortunately, my departmental head at that time did not want me to do any such activity. So I went and complained to Dr. Dongaonkar, saying that, look, I am a qualified person in Ayurveda. I am a qualified person in modern medicine. Why am I not allowed to do these studies on my patients? So therefore, he said, no, Dr. Paleb, he said, I give you a challenge. You treat my 2 patients, and then I will consider your case. I said, what were these cases? 1 patient of osteomyelitis waiting in the ward for last 3 months, and another patient was for 9 months with chronic osteomyelitis, and all types of antibiotics exhausted. Nothing more could be done in the modern way. So it is at that time he offered me these patients. I said, thank God, at least he offered me a patient. I thought he's pulling my leg, but doesn't matter. Let me take a chance. So I said, all right, sir, I will go ahead and do that. And believe me, these patients went completely healed with my drug in about almost 6 to 12 weeks of time without any other treatment. Now, then came a question of how do I get FDA approval for these medicines, this research, FDA approval for the research. And then I approached the FDA commissioner and I showed him all my lab work, and he was so surprised. He said, doctor, in last 30 years of my life, I have not seen anybody doing so much work in Ayurveda. And after seeing this work, I don't want to give you something for your trial purpose, but I would like to give you a license to manufacture. I said, how can I do manufacturing? I have no idea. I am a professional only. I know how to treat my patients. He said, don't worry, I'll give you a man. He will do it, everything for you. And I'm confident you will succeed. So this is how I landed in this. I thank my departmental head who opposed me all the way. But anyway, that made me an entrepreneur. Thank you. Next slide.
And then normally Ayurvedic herbs are between working empirically, as you said. Like those 2 patients, you don't know how it worked. Can you explain the mechanism of antimicrobial action of these pentaphyte?
Next slide, please.
What is your evidence for it?
Now, most of us know antimicrobial activity as either bacteriostatic or bactericidal. We didn't know so far there is one more method by which the bacterial infection spreads and forms the biofilms and increase virulence and mutation and chronic infection. All this we did not understand. And you know, after all, the bacteria or virus is when gets introduced into your body, they are foreign bodies. Our immunity will not allow them to come in. But there is something called quorum sense, which there is a regulation of gene expression in response to bacterial cell population density. And this quorum sensing bacteria produce and release a chemical signaling molecule. They are called autoinducers. And with this autoinducer, they make the host organism to make themselves acceptable. And this leads to bacterial colony multiplication, localization of the disease, increased virulence, biofilm formation, and sometimes leading to even chronic infection. So that's how the quorum sense need to be understood. And what we found is pentaphyte inhibits the quorum sense, and this is how it controls the bacterial infections. Of course, there are many other methods of action of pentaphyte. There is also some element of bactericidal action, anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory, and antioxidant mechanisms. By number of the other mechanisms also, pentaphyte works, and we have published in peer-reviewed journals like BMC Alternative. You can go through my article, and that's how it is. So today we are talking of molecular targets. We are talking of the mechanisms of action of all the drugs which we would like to talk about. Thank you. Next slide.
But currently, it is promoted by the government of India for COVID prophylaxis and therapy. Are you going to doing? Are we doing looking any research for it? Because you see, you have done many other aspects, but why not COVID?
Yes, it's true. I'm working on COVID-2, and you know that one of my drug, Torchnil, was used for torch infections, and we got successful results. Then idea came to me, why do I not try out in
Pepsin.
HIV? And when I started studying on HIV, I found it inhibited reverse transcriptase, it inhibited P25 antigen. Now that's the way that we thought of the mechanism of action of this drug. And today there is a new method to also find out in silico docking studies, wherein you have this substance for docking, and then whether there is a particular drug can act or not can be found out. And this tablet Pepsin I created for all viral infections. See, most of the viral infections cause 2 to 3 days fever, then they go off. And we rush to take the analgesics, antipyretics, and because of that, you get so many complications, gastritis, this, that, so many. So can we avoid this? In order to do that, I created this Pepsin formulation. And this, both of them, Pepsin and Torchnil, are together, we thought would be very ideal in fighting COVID. Next slide, please. Now, in silico docking studies showed that COVID spike protein can be, binded by these drugs and thereby inhibiting the active protein. So this capacity of binding to the COVID viral spike protein was an important factor for us to try these drugs. Next slide, please. Next slide. Currently, these are under randomized clinical trial at Nair Hospital, not for prophylaxis, but for the patients who are moderately, severely affected with the corona disease as an add-on treatment. So therefore, currently, I think it's about 3 weeks that my drugs are in trial. Maybe by about 6 months, we'll know how much benefit these drugs give, I'm quite sure they would be helping the patients. Next slide, please. And this is the formulation of pepsin and its contents and active phytochemicals. Next slide, please. So this is how I have been trying to do. Thank you very much for your attention, all of you, and especially Dr. Vandana Valvekar for taking pains to.
Thank you, Doctor.
And I will invite any questions from the audience if anybody would like to ask any questions.
Give me a minute. I'll unmute everybody.
Yeah.
Are there any questions for Dr. Paleb?
Everybody can now unmute one by one and speak.
Vandana, can I have a word?
Please.
Am I heard?
Yes, you are. You are very audible.
Dr. Paleb, heartiest congratulations on your life's work. I think it's really, really creditable. You know, we tend to ignore what we don't understand. And Ayurveda is one of the oldest sciences in medicine. In the Himalayan gardens and forests, there are thousands and thousands of flowers and plants which are not even known what they do. And they haven't been harvested yet. I think if someone takes a lead from this, we can open a huge kind of a science where you can treat things with other aspects other than aspirin and, like he mentioned, crocin and many other drugs we use. We treat only symptomatically most of the things. They have a different approach, and that approach has to be understood and studied. And I really feel if somebody takes the pain of forming a kind of an institute and studying and taking further this lifetime work of Dr. Paleb, I'm sure it will do good to the future, because we always ignore what we don't understand. We don't follow this drug, let it be. What do we treat? We treat allergies with cortisone. They have specific drugs for different kind of things, and their proteins which are there are different from the proteins we use, because we use only few proteins. They have a huge supply of proteins which they have on their list. So I really feel this is an eye-opener. Dr. Paleb has been a lone crusader, and if he has a team of people to help him and support him in his work, India will open a great door for the future. Dr. Paleb, congratulations. This is my true sense.
Anyone else would like to make a comment?
Can I say something, Vandana?
Yeah, please go ahead, Satish.
Yeah, Dr. Paleb, I remember working in the Gynec department together. You had just come back from the Ayurvedic college, and I was also a postgraduate teacher over there in the Gynec, postgraduate student in the Gynec department. But recently I've been attending some international health summits, and they are referring to Ayurveda and Ayurvedic products very frequently during the talks. So can you give us some idea about therapies which can, powders or tablets which can be used to raise the immunity, antioxidant qualities of those products?
Dr. Paleb.
I think he's gone for a walk in the garden.
Adi.
Thanks, Vandana.
His internet must have.
Yeah.
Hi, he's there.
Am I audible now?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So these drugs are quite effective. You can see the effect of this tablet pepsin very instantly when you take this tablet, crush in your mouth and swallow this tablet, and you feel that you are breathing fresh air, your air quality improves, and your gastric function improves, and also immunity improves. Because this contains what is called guduchi. Guduchi is very important ingredient of this, and it has been promoted even by the government of India, guduchi. So Tinospora cardifolia, what is this? So this is very useful preparation. If any of you would like to try them. I would be very happy to send some samples to you and you can try.
What about ashwagandha and shatavari?
Ashwagandha and shatavari are more nutritious and working at the level of the cooling of the mind, improving the positive health. You know, they are, and also immunomodulators. They are called rasayanas. Basically, they strengthen your immune system in the body.
And Brahmi?
Brahmi is something to aid your mental abilities. So
I take Brahmi and ashwagandha every day.
Brahmi is very good to improve the memory.
I take 1 tablet of ashwagandha and 1 of Brahmi every night.
That's very good. That's very
Yeah.
good. We do produce these drugs, Brahmi, ashwagandha, and all these individual drugs also.
I think we have to be very, very careful about these Western people, because tomorrow they will turn around and say that Ayurveda is of Western origin.
I know, just like
And,
turmeric.
and they will say that Charak and all these people, they were of American origin, and they are genomically they are Americans and Westernized. So there are all the possibility that they will do a patenting of all the Ayurveda and then start distributing all over the world under their name. Now Baba Ramdev, you must have heard about him, and everybody must have seen him also. He says कि हम 100% blood pressure control करता है. If you see his blood pressure tablet, the tablet contains reserpine. Now reserpine is an alpha alkaloid which we have stopped using as an antihypertensive for ages together because of the side effect. But this fellow has an added reserpine and he has started marketing as an antihypertensive और बोलता है कि 100% blood pressure तुम्हारा अच्छा हो जाता है. He talks of curing with Ayurveda so many cancers. I always think that there are so many Bollywood stars who have died because of cancer, and he had no guts to come out and say that, okay, you come to me and I will cure you. Even if he cures 1 or 2 people of them, then the people will start having a lot of faith in even Ayurveda. But he never does that, and he keeps on shouting on the television every time that 100% me acha kar dunga karke. But I don't think such things are required, and there is a concrete proof is required. Similarly, he has come out with Coronil. Now the Coronil also ICMR has banned as far as the Coronil is concerned for corona, and he is only marketing as now I think probably a immunity booster and not a cure for COVID. So one has.
He's in the class by himself.
No, I think. May I say something?
To understand this all, there is a need for the modern trained doctors to take interest in Ayurveda and study Ayurveda, and so that we create some sensible thing out of this, as
Correct.
what earlier Adi said. The same thing which I would like to say, that we are, by ignoring Ayurveda, by antagonizing Ayurveda, I see Ayurveda, Ramdev is not Ayurveda. Let me tell you that. Ramdev is a businessman. He would like to do, so there will be always the black sheep who will do their own way. So therefore my only humble suggestion to all of my colleagues is that please try to understand Ayurveda from a scientific point of view.
May I
and you will be, I'm sure will be very happy. And
may I say something? Hello, may I?
Yes.
What I wanted to, from what Aspi was saying and from what you have said, we have seen that there is a lot of controversy and lot of fake situations that is being given. Now, wherever, just like we have our prescriptions in allopathic medicine with exact active ingredient, exact amount, if that is being marketed as such. For example, ashwagandha has this is the active ingredient and this is so much for it. I think this transparency will give a lot of faith in Ayurveda.
True, that's also coming. That's why I said today we don't talk in abstract terms. We talk on the molecular targets.
Right.
We talk.
It must be advertised.
Yeah, see what people advertise. Dr. Paleb doesn't believe in advertising.
No, I'm not talking. I'm saying in principle.
I have one more question.
Yes, please.
About Havan. What does Havan do? Does it purify the surrounding atmosphere, or is it only for the person who's sitting around the Havan?
No.
Is this a Ayurvedic question?
I didn't get you. Havan.
Havan is not Ayurvedic.
Havan is
Havan, no?
It's
With all
not
the
Ayurvedic.
herbs.
It's a fire, no, that we put.
Yeah, like essence,
Like how the Parsis put the same thing.
incense.
Incense, correct.
No, they are
Incense.
herbs which are put. Those herbs are supposed to help in purifying, but purifying what?
Atmosphere, I suppose.
Well, they probably leave molecules in the atmosphere which are refreshing. So that gives you a sense of well-being. Maybe that.
We had a very, very fruitful discussion.
Satish.
Yes.
Try to understand. This is today. So many people are coming with radiation therapy to clean your surroundings. Different types of radiations. They give to clean. Now these are all various forms of cleaning procedures. When you want to talk about how or things like that. Now you burn incense, you burn this, you burn that. What are you? You are trying to purify the atmosphere around you, and also get into you some by creating a sort of the physiological, physical interactions. So various things happen, and it's not that environment and you, how you go along with each other, how this coupling happens. So these all things are very, very serious matters for discussions, and they should not be looked very lightly as many would like to do. So my suggestion to you is, let us be more scientific in our approach. Let us try to understand how we take these things forward. With many people participating like you would make things more sensible, more scientific, more appropriate.
In the Zoroastrian religion, we have also loban and essences we put in the fire.
Yes.
That is also has to have its own effects. In my bungalow at home when I was a child, my granny would take this loban and take it down the whole house in the evening every day, so that they believed it purified the air which was in the house. So maybe it has some effect which is not scientifically looked at. So there are many unknown factors.
Mosquitoes go away with that.
God bless somebody who sneezed.
I know. Satish, Adi, it has been such a pleasure for such a long and a very fruitful and a very new type of a discussion. I think it's time we called it a day.
Why are you calling it a day, Vandana? I want to see some more.
Okay, call it an evening.
Vandana, one more, please. Please,
last question. Last.
One more thing.
Satish, you better take a lecture now from him.
In these summits, Dr. Palip, in these summits, they are putting a lot of...
I'm not able to hear you well. Can you be a little louder, please?
In these summits, they are talking about detoxification as an important part of health. So in Ayurveda, what do you do for detoxification?
Oh, yes. That's a very interesting thing, interesting question you asked. Now, let us understand very, very simple things. Your body mechanisms work in a particular way. Now, for example, when you have your food, unless the 3 hours passed after you take the food, the pyloric sphincter does not open. Pyloric sphincter opens only after 3 hours.
No.
So that the food gets properly digested, mixed up properly, then it opens up when it is ready. There are so many things working inside you, so much of intelligent work which goes on. Now, what happens is that when you repress these, your sphincters, now how do you repress them? Now you are hungry, you don't eat. Or you overeat. Or you don't sleep. Now all these cause a lot of problems with your sphincters. The day that these sphincters are badly managed, your whole system gets into trouble. Can I understand that in your stomach, there is so much of hydrochloric acid, if you put an iron nail, it can get dissolved. But how does a bacteria survive H. pylori in the stomach, causing gastric ulcers?
Habitualization.
I know.
No, the reason is because this pyloric sphincter becomes incompetent.
Oh.
So there is a reflux of the bile, which is alkaline. The alkaline bile gets into stomach, and once that acidity becomes less, so again there is a stimulus for producing more acidity, and it will go on and on. And with the lower level of the acidity, there is a greater chance for this bacteria to thrive. So that's how the whole pathophysiology alters because of our habits, because the way that we live. So therefore, all these 5 procedures, Vaman, that is emesis, Virechan, laxation, enemata, these various panchakarma which we do are the ways that either you introduce some herbs which are effective locally and stimulate the bowel so that there is no accumulation. And these are various things which will help. And there's a very deep science which I think will take to explain this whole. It's not a matter of in minutes, but we'll need one whole lecture for this particular job.
Sangeeta, note that.
Adi, Doctor, it was very, very nice. I'm so happy for the discussion that took place. Really, people have understood this, and it is important. I want to thank Dr. Paleb for such an unusual and an interesting lecture. And I think we should call it a day. And thank you everybody for being there and asking and finding
One question, madam.
Oh dear.
One question I also had, last one.
Oh dear.
Regarding the collagen tablets in menopause woman.
Okay. Now, collagen I have created because it contains Arjuna as a main ingredients apart from ashwagandha and others. Now, we did a study on collagen, how it works on the heart. We did work on embryonic heart and to show that it action to improve the stroke volumes, to improve the vascularity. So much of the study we have done on this collagen molecule. And this is very good in controlling hypertension, in controlling your cardiac failure patients. Now, people with less than 35% of ventricular ejection fraction could be helped by this drug, was proved by a number of the cardiologists who have used this drug. And collagen is, in fact, a very effective drug, which I have been using myself for last about almost 7-8 years now. And that's the secret why I am absolutely free of hypertension, free of all other problems.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
One last note. Dr. Paleb, there's a place called Valley of the Flowers in the Himalayas, which is supposed to be a undiscovered haven over there for Ayurvedas and for treatment, where there are some millions of vegetables, flowers, plants all growing. And if somebody taps that Valley of the Flowers, which I read about many, many years back, it'll be a bank for you.
No, there are already people
interrupt?
Harvesting drugs. There are institutions in Jammu, especially working on in this field, and there's a lot of work going on all over the country, and especially in the Himalayan regions, and even in Northeast there is a lot of work is going on.
In the Northeast, exactly.
Yeah, even in Northeast.
Shillong area.
Yes.
So
there is a lot of work going on.
I think Sangeeta is back.
No, I was always in and out of the whole this because I have very bad network. But in answer to Sir's question, Dr. Adi Dastur, sir, I'm very happy to tell you that exactly 1 year ago, last year in August 2019, I went with 5 of my friends to the same Valley of Flowers that you are
please have a lecture on that out of the box.
Sorry?
Out of the box next time.
Yeah, but there have been so many lectures on the travel already done. But I will very proudly tell you that I had the pleasure of doing the whole trek. I went right up to the valley. You have to start at 8:00 in the morning. It's a 6 hours trek.
Yes.
So we reached by about 1 o'clock. Then we saw the entire valley, and you have no choice but to leave at 2:30 so that you can come down by at least 6:30.
How was
and
it?
it was excellent. It is like a heaven on earth.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It is
I
beautiful.
also want to go there.
And I don't, you know, it was my dream come true, and so I was so happy. And that whole exercise, you know, the way you go from Bombay to Delhi, Delhi to Rishikesh, then from there to Joshimath, then you have to go to one station which is the base, and then you do a 10.
Bagdodra.
Sorry.
Bagdodra or?
No, Bagdodra is- I can't remember offhand suddenly the name, but it just slipped from my mind. But you go from Bombay to Delhi, Delhi to Rishikesh. We spent a night there. Then from there we went to Joshimath, which is a 10-hour drive. And then from Joshimath you go to one station from where you climb up for 10 hours. Then that is your base. And from that base, one day we did Valley of Flowers. The second day we did Hemkund visit. And
Wow.
so out of this work,
World.
you know, I wish I could write in my will that bury me in the Valley of Flowers.
Not allowed, Sangeeta, not allowed to bury you. We have to cremate.
Cremate, do my cremation there.
No, you put in the flowers. Anyway,
And
over to you, Sangeeta.
There are some beautiful pictures. I will share them with you all sometime.
Next trip, take Dr. Palip there.
Yes.
Sangeeta,
I think.
Sangeeta, next time we will meet 15 minutes early and you show us your pictures.
Yeah, sure. At one point, some point, whenever my turn comes, I will do a presentation on Valley of Flowers. And I think
Lovely.
every individual should visit that place because it is so beautiful. I cannot express it in words.
But
I'm
you've
dying
already
to see
booked
that,
everybody
really.
till December.
Huh?
Sangeeta,
You've already booked all
over
the
to
dates
you.
till
I am
December.
done.
You are done, Vandana?
I'm done. In the sense, our lecture and talk and everything is finished. Now it is Sangeeta's onus to what is to be done with the presentation.
No, now nothing, nothing. We are done for today. So can we switch off? Can we, you know, call it a end?
Yes, you can now proceed for dinner.
Yeah.
Dr. Palip, please take your ambition forward.
Excellent presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adi.
Though I must regret that, I regret to say that, you know, I have very bad network for last 1 week, and I am fed up of fighting with the MCNL guys, and they have been taking money out of my hand, but not been able to solve the problem. Anyway, nevertheless, hopefully by next Wednesday it will be better. But it was great listening to you, and thank you so much. And
But
thank
please
you,
take it forward. Dr. Palip, please take it forward. Great future in what you're doing. Great future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
And I really sincerely believe we don't know 1/1,000,000th of what we have to know. And there's such a big, you know, garden out there is really worthwhile cultivating things from that.
Right.
I hope somebody follows your footsteps.
Jaideep is
Hello,
there.
Manisha.
Jaideep is
Manisha is
there.
doing well. Manisha was there. In
Give
this
her my love, please.
Sure, I will.
She was my husband in Wadia.
I know. Cha.
Hi, sir. I'm very well. Thank you very much for inquiring about me. I'm really good. Thank you.
Where are you?
I'm in Bangalore
Oh, I can't see you.
because I haven't got my video on.
Anyway, Sangeeta,
Yeah.
would you like to end it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, everybody, and we'll meet next Wednesday. I think next Wednesday is Dr. Pranay Shah, right? And he is going to do an excellent presentation on the world below in the sea, the scuba diving. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. He's going to take us on a scuba diving journey.
Okay.
Underwater scope.
Yeah, underwater life.
Right. Okay.
Cystoscopy.
With this, thank you, everybody. Enjoy your day, rest of the day. Enjoy your dinner, and see you next Wednesday.
Right.
Thank you, Vandana.